Okay, let's transition to the tech giants and politics, because Massachusetts Senator and, of course, presidential hopeful Elizabeth Warren on Friday at a rally announced a proposal to break up the big tech giants, Amazon, Google, Facebook, and Apple. Now, Warren's plan calls for blocking them from providing a marketplace and selling their products on that same marketplace. She also specifically demanded that Apple either surrender the App Store control or stop selling its own apps. Now, this is kind of interesting to me because it's certainly a campaign stumping point.
Yes.
But also I'm just extremely skeptical that anything real could come of it. Also because, at least with regards to Amazon specifically, I've written a lot about the general antitrust concerns. People say, oh, Amazon's a monopoly. But it actually really isn't yet, which is hard for people to wrap their minds around. Yes, every time we read about a new Amazon acquisition, people say it's getting way too big, break it up.
It's because it's horizontal.
Yes, exactly right. And it's actually not deep in any of the areas it's in.
Yeah,
Grocery,
right.
for example. Amazon still has such a tiny footprint, and that's the litmus test that matters for antitrust concerns.
Right. I do think in a case like Facebook, though, that should have been blocked, and we talked about it on these couches.
When you
I was going to say, like, Instagram or WhatsApp,
it's too late.
Facebook, yes. Right, but the company itself is a social media platform. Amazon has really couched itself as we're going to be the future of everything.
Yeah, we're everything. Yeah.
Therefore, we don't actually own anyone's space, so we can have these superficial plays in the works. But
Facebook
I do feel like Facebook specifically should be the #1 target in my mind. Apple would be second because it is true. The App Store is a monopoly. When you think about when you want to buy Dark Sky, when you want to do MoviePass, when you want to figure out whatever app is out there, you're not Googling it, you're going to the App Store to download it. So yeah, there's just one funnel. It is so siloed in a way that I think makes it very anti-competitive for other folks.
I mean, and choosing Facebook would be a better political stumping ground right now. Like, that's an effective time to go after Facebook.
Well, there's two things to parse out here. One, so political candidates often right before the primaries, they come out with these big ideas. They're trying to appeal to their base, right?
Build the wall.
They swing towards the fences, right? But they have to move right towards the center in order to be elected in a general. And I find it really hard to believe that with an aggressive plan like this, that Elizabeth Warren could end up, well, one, she has to beat the hurdle of making it through the primary, but that she could win the general with a policy like this. Silicon Valley notoriously has backed Democratic candidates. I don't see them continuing to do this if this is the plan. But then the other thing that we have to talk about, it's really interesting because Microsoft, right, 20 years ago, it's not talked about a lot, but they were sued for violating antitrust laws, and the government won in that case. And it actually allowed companies like Google, Facebook, and Amazon to essentially rise up after. And since then, though, there hasn't been a lot of, I guess, regulation. Well, not necessarily regulation, but there hasn't been as much oversight on tech companies, right? Yeah. But I do actually think that that's changing because we are having these conversations more and more and more. There is this growing tech rush.
We're having the conversation, but we haven't yet seen any real action other than some fines.
But I am echoing, because I just want to talk about one point you made about Democrats tend to be, or the tech community tends to be Democratic. But Peter Thiel, I think, is a really emblematic figure who is showing that as these tech titans amass more wealth, they want to guard their wealth. And as much as they are progressive when it comes to social issues, they're like, wait, I don't want to be taxed. This is not freedom for all. So I think overall that sentiment might be shifting. And I'm so curious to see what happens during the primaries.
Yeah, and Facebook regulation, nice talking point, but let's actually see it because a fine is not regulation.
Yep.